Hello and welcome to my monthly live stream. So on today's live stream, a catch up on some news from Raspberry Pi, some new releases which are out and interesting, plus chat about my own projects, a few other projects I spotted that were interesting that I wanted to bring to your attention, plus a bit of a sneak peek on my Halloween build and special for that. And so stay tuned for all of that. And of course, I will give you a bit of behind the scenes look at what's going on the channel, what my plans are, my thoughts, where I'm going to be, and opportunities for us to interact and be a little bit more interactive than we are on a normal live, or my normal show. So there we go. So hi, I'm John, your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, Pico 2, IoT, robotics, and other fun techs. Welcome to the channel. This is my live stream. I think of it more as a relaxed and interactive session. It sometimes isn't as relaxed for me as it could be because going live is sometimes stressful. But yeah, please let me know where you are. There's a chat function. You are available on the YouTube, so you can tell me how you're doing and what's going on and where you're up to. And I've just turned chat on so I can see. But I'll also make myself a little bit bigger. Well, no, let's still have some slides, shall we? There we go, and see if I can increase. No, I'm not doing this very well today, am I? Let's try that. No, we'll try that one. No, I'm sure there is that's a bit better. There we go. A little bit more of me and a little bit less of the slides, because you've tuned in to hear me talk, and my slides are only a little prompt to give a little bit more interest, because rather than just my boring face all the time. So other welcomes today is welcome to the world of DevEco. So for the first time, I'm actually dual broadcasting not only onto my own channel, Dr Jon EA, but also onto the world of DevEco. So thank you to the fixer, Robert Wolf, for sorting that out for me and inviting me to share my live stream with that audience as well. So DevEco is a Discord and web and generally and indeed LinkedIn community of developers, all with interesting stories and all interesting knowledge. So if you don't know about them, find out. I've got some links somewhere in my if it's not in this live stream, it might be in one of the previous live streams. I'll add a link on there so you can find them and find a home of some additional information for you. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate it, and that way you get notified when live streams are coming up, but also my weekly content, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a bit, I think. So I hope you're all keeping well. I hope life is going well for you. I've certainly been busy in with projects and having fun, including running out of memory on an RP2040 project, which has been causing me to pull my hair out a bit. But I found a way around it, and I've investigated this world of PS RAM and extending into this QSPI RAM, which is quite interesting on an RP2040 I'll have a video coming up on that in a few weeks' time, so look forward to that, and I hope you'll enjoy that. So yeah, I have got my link. It's in the description. So yes, love to chat with you. Please do talk to me live, or I will hang around a little bit on the DevEco server after the session, so you can find me there. But yes, welcome to DevEco for the first time that I'm broadcasting live there today. So what's on the agenda today? What am I going to talk about in today's session? Well, it's going to be my normal agenda, which tends to be a bit of an update around news about what's going on in the world of the Raspberry Pi, Picos, Pico 2s, that sort of ecosystem, and anything else I think that's interested around that. Stuff around projects, some of other people's and some of my own that are out there at the moment. And then a catch up around the channel and what we're doing around the channel. And there'll be time for some Q&A. I have got some questions that are coming in from the channel that I want to briefly mention. Perhaps more, well, I think the questions are actually helping me quite a bit because they're helping me think about future episodes that I really need to do. So that's cool. That's really, really cool. So yeah, there'll be a few questions. If you've got any questions, please do let me know in the chat. I'd love to see your questions, and I can try and answer them there and then, or you might give me some ideas for future. Someone else watching might actually have some answers to the question, so please do know. And also, you know, do let me know in the chat where you're coming from and watching from. That's always interesting to know as well. So some of my content, you'll know, is sponsored on the world of YouTube. This is what helps me keep the channel going and keep costs down and keep everything, you know, running. So I don't have a sponsor at the moment for my live streams. If you or your company would like to sponsor my live streams, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And you could get a pitch every time I go live once a month. And my rates are very reasonable. So let's turn into the world of the news and what's going on, and that I spotted that I think is interesting. And I think the first one I saw was, of course, we've got a new Raspberry Pi operating system come out, Trixie. Raspberry Pi is based on Debian, and Debian release a new long or major release every other year, every odd year. This year is their release, and their release is Trixie 2. So, you know, Raspberry Pi followed suit. Will you notice the difference? That's kind of an interesting question. I think you will, especially if you use the desktop, because there is actually now some new desktop themes and indeed new configuration tools for setting up, you know, your video and desktop outputs and printers and all of that sort of stuff. For me, as a developer, an embedded developer, that's not so interesting. What sort of piqued my interest a little bit was the fact that they've redone the hierarchy of packages and how that they work, which will make it a lot easier for us to use the packaging system to make a very light embedded build and just put in the packages we want quickly and easily, which I thought is nice and a nice improvement that I would look forward to in future. So that is all really good to see. I hope we might get the same sort of package hierarchy improvements on Ubuntu, which I sometimes find requires rather a lot of installs to get things actually up and running. If you are jumping on Trixie, you should be aware that not everything is supported just yet. Things like the fairly recent AI hat for the Raspberry Pis is still not available on that platform yet. And a few other things I suspect will just take a little bit of while why people just sort out the bugs and get them ported over and working. So, you know, same with all new releases. How quickly do you jump on them? Do you just let everything sort itself out and then adopt them? That's always the smoother strategy. The other intriguing story I saw from Raspberry Pi was around sustainable manufacturing. So it appears that Raspberry Pi single board computers, which are normally manufactured in South Wales, have now gone to a zero waste to landfill policy. So they have become really quite sustainable. And they've been for a while running on 100% renewable energy as well. And they've even going into gold recovery on waste materials and things. So yeah, Raspberry Pi is becoming quite a sustainable manufacturer, which is really nice to see and good as we, you know, support their work and stuff. Now, that all applies to the single board computer. I don't know how much of that applies to the Pico. It'll be interesting to know how much, whether that is as sustainable in its manufacture. But If anyone knows, let me know. I'll be interesting to hear. Also, more on sort of community projects and stuff. One of the things that I think we all like, or all huge potential, I guess, for the RP2040 is that it's got a whole load more GPIO outputs and inputs available to it. But of course, the Pico and Pico 2 are pin for pin compatible. So none of those additional outputs are available to you. So hence Open Pico Stretch, which was a project from Josh at Signal Drift and his channel on YouTube. And I've put a link to his video about it on the show notes. And he's produced a Pico 2W with an extra 8 meg of PS RAM. I've been using PS RAM. That's really quite useful at some things. And an extra 24 GPIO pads. That's quite a mammoth extension, and for some projects that could be really useful. So giving us access to all of those extra GPIO pads that the RP2040 potentially allows us to have. So go check out his video. That's an interesting design build stuff. Oh, look, there's a picture of it as well. And coming, another one that came up of these community projects, which intrigued me, is because Ethernet is something I've been thinking a bit about with Picos and stuff. And someone has actually managed to build a Pico 100 base T library for transmission of Ethernet, which that's quite impressive. The different voltages that requires, the and things. It is transmit only. You can't receive on it. But even so, the fact that we potentially have 100 base T natively coming out of a Pico 2 board, yeah, cool. Wow. So go and check out Steve M's work on that one as well. That's an interesting project. I've put the GitHub link into the show notes. So those were the big stuff and stories that I thought were interesting that came to my attention this month. If I've missed anything important that you think I should be pointing out, or if you hear anything that's coming up and you think it should go onto my show, please get in touch with me and let me know, and I will make sure to put it into next month's show. So I guess we should talk about projects next, really, which is normally my opportunity to remind you of the sort of stuff that I've done on my projects and how things have gone and what I'm working on at the moment. So let's just have a recap of projects that I've brought out and shared with you over the last month or so. So, one of the things that came out, I think, and was interesting in the new version of the Pico SDK was this new status LED library. Now, the status LED on Picos is kind of makes new users fall over a little bit because of the difference between how they're connected on a Pico and a Pico W, and indeed when you start thinking around things like RP2040 zeros, their status LEDs are completely different because they're WS2812Bs. So these things can make people fall over a little bit in their journey to adopting and understanding and working on our platform. So it's nice to see a library from Raspberry Pi, even if I did find one or two bugs in it. So I've got a video talking through that library and how nice it is to be able to consistently treat your LEDs. I also did some work on a camera. In fact, it's sitting behind me. I'm not using it for this video because I think my camera's video feed's a little bit better. But yes, I built a robotic robot arm that's got a camera on the front of it and can now chase my face around as I move around and keep me in shot. I might start using it for some stuff. It's kind of a fun little project, and didn't get that many views on the channel, so I don't know why you guys didn't like it so much. Perhaps perhaps you're too dedicated to the world of the Pico, which it's not a bad thing. I am too, really. VS Code. Some of you will know that I'm not always the greatest fan of VS Code. I do use it more often for creating videos than I do actually for actually working on it on a day-to-day basis. But I was asked a while ago, could I show a real proper complex project? FreeRTOS, using libraries, multiple folders and all of that, and demonstrate that actually that could be worked on and compiled and flashed directly from VS Code. So I set out to do that. And to my surprise, I was able to do a bit more than that, because I was able to actually pull the whole project straight from GitHub, compile it and flash it straight to a Pico, all from within VS Code, all really easily and flexibly. So when things go right in VS Code, it is an amazing tool and really helpful for a new user to get used to on the platform. So that's quite a nice little demo on that video, I think. And finally, I've been working on some multi Pico board projects at the moment, where I'm using things like a screen and a Pico W or a Pico 2W, so that I'm using the two things in combination. So a screen that's got a RP2040 in it. And so I was trying to see if I could actually get comms running across USB and running it basically over from using one of those, the Pico W, into host mode, USB host mode. So I did a video on that. It is a little involved, I must admit. I'm not the greatest fan of tiny USB and how to configure it. But it was nice getting some examples, paring them down so that just serial communication and getting that working. And yeah, so there's a video out on that one as well. And of course, all of these have the GitHub repositories with them, so you can see the example code of how I get that working. So those are the stuff that's out there at the moment. What have I been playing with? Well, I suppose other things are out there as well. Just out there is a video from Thursday looking at this AMOLED display from Waveshare, which I really quite liked. And it's that I then have started to use for my Halloween project, which is sitting on the shelf up there, but is a little bit small for you to see on that camera, I suspect. So, and especially as I'm in small mode at the moment. So this is the wonderful. Is that a video? Yes, it is a video. That should play. So what I've been playing with is, for Halloween, and what's coming up is a Pepper's Ghost illusion based on a Nazgul. So I'm using that screen, a little bit of Perspex, some 3D printing, and lots of WS2812B LEDs to create this sort of Nazgul illusion, where we have our Nazgul coming back, and then I'm able to start to add some nice glowy eyes to him, and then to add a nice ghostly head as well. And all that's going on and being controlled from an RP2040 Waveshare board, display board. So yeah, that's a nice little project that will be out with you on Thursday. So happy Halloween, and enjoy that one, I hope. So yeah, those are the projects going on at the moment, and or imminently. In the background, am I doing any more work on RP2350? I've got a plan of work, and I've got a couple of half-built bits of extension for my my droid. I've been working on other stuff though, and that it's sort of not given me enough time to do some work on that. I plan on doing that because I need to do some work on him this week to make sure he's ready for an event next on Saturday, and make sure he's running. And then when I get back from that, I will have some other videos already out and in the can to roll out to you guys. So at that point, I'm going to start doing some more work on him, and I've got some plans of what comes next. So stay tuned for those, please. I mean, the other things I am trying to work on is at the moment is a bit of a sort of almost canned project based on this display board from Waveshare. This is the 96mm diameter circular display, the 2.8C from Waveshare. I've got some stuff on that that's going to be coming up too, and that's spun up some really quite interesting videos and conversations that I'm going to be sharing with you around how some of these things work and how you can start nudging what we do towards what is closer to actual product, and that you could gift to someone is where we're going with this. So yeah, keep watching for those, and we'll share one of those real soon. I'd love to show some more of your projects on the channel. So if you're doing anything, if you've got anything interesting coming up, please get in touch and let me know, and we can share that on the channel and on my monthly live stream. I'd love to share that with the audience. So where I'm going to be, what's going on, any shows or events coming up that I'm going to be at, and things going on locally that I'm aware of. Well, if you're in the UK, towards the Cambridgeshire and Bedfordshire area, certainly, I know that Raspberry Pi are running this Possum Pi and Pint session on the 1st of November. And touch wood, all being well, I intend going up there and taking Rexby 1 as well, that droid up there. So that will be fun, and hopefully fun. It's a reasonable journey from here, about 3 hours there and back from here. So quite a little trip out for the day for that one. If you're going to that, let me know. And then more locally to me, down in Brighton in UK, I'm organising Breaking Breadboards on the 18th of November, which is our local community meetup for people playing around with the world of embedded and IoT, robotics, and all of these sorts of fun projects that we play around with on the channel. So if you're anywhere near the area, please do come in, come and see us at that event. You can find more about that event on meetup.com. If there's any other events going on or around that you think I should be at, please do let me know. I don't always hear about all of them, and I would love to support. So please do get in touch, let me know, and let me support those sorts of things. So that takes us to the channel update section of what's going on the channel and what's going on in the back room about what's happening next and stuff. And I always start these sessions by talking a bit around what my broadcast schedule is. So if you haven't worked it out, my videos, well, actually, they're now going out in GMT because we've just changed timeline zone. But Thursdays is big video day, and videos all go out at 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon here, London time. And then generally on the following Tuesday, there is then a 3-minute summary that's going out, or that's what's going out at the moment. And then in between on Sundays, there will be once a month a live stream, like this. And occasionally there might also be some other shorts going out as well. We'll see. I haven't done any for a while, I must admit. Yeah, so that's our broadcast schedule. In other more sad news, if anyone remembers DDD, my DIY dev droid, I'm sad to say that DDD has died this week. His plastic shell sitting on the shelf has collapsed under his own weight. So DDD is no more. He was basically the predecessor to RexP1, which I was using to demonstrate and work out motor controls, ROS controls, navigation and things, all capabilities that are rolling into RexP1. So he was a really useful and helpful tool, but unfortunately he is no more. So that is sad news. If you're buying stuff from AliExpress, please do use my AliExpress team. That will get you some cash back on your purchases. And the more people in my team, the more cash back my team gets, basically. So please do take a look at the team and join that. That would be really helpful. And if you enjoy my content, please remember we have a super thanks button on the channel and on every video where you can leave me a cash tip. And generally on my videos, I've got a cash payment link in the description as well. They're really useful. They hopefully are going to help me save up to get myself over to the open source conference in San Francisco next year. That's my plan. And we hopefully health-wise and everything wise, I'll be there and it will be good. So yes, if you can help me get there, that would be really appreciated. And please remember, there are a bunch of courses on building these sorts of exciting Raspberry Pi Pico developments over on my Udemy area, or my courses over on Udemy. Feel free to buy one of those. They are great. If you want to buy them, start navigating from my website. That's even better, because that I get more commission that way. So all good with that. And remember, I'm around on some other channels as well, where you can also find me on social media and stuff. Which takes me, I guess, around to Q&A. So what's in Q&A? What's going on in the world of questions? Well, okay, we have a live question coming in as well, which is, why should we use the, let's see if I can show it on the screen. Now I can't read it. Why should we use the Pico instead of other microcontrollers such as the ESP32, as it comes with it, has a much variance for low power RAM, ROM. The ESP32 is a really, really excellent microcontroller. I have absolutely used it myself. It's, you know, I think it's a choice for what you're trying to build and where you're trying to go. The stuff I share on the channel tends to be Raspberry Pi Picos and Pico 2s, because there was a bigger need in the community and therefore more opportunity for me to share on YouTube for stuff in that space. There's a lot more content out there for the ESP32. I guess there are the advantages of things like the Raspberry Pi chips is the fact that we've got this a completely open source ecosystem. So you've got every bit of source and full details of all the designs of what's out there. Some things on the ESP32 world is a little bit more hidden from you, but it's all cool. So yeah, but as I say, ESP32 is a really nice processor, so I wouldn't knock it at all. Question from Dexter: how do you join our team on AliExpress? one way you could join is you could follow that QR code, or alternatively, and I probably had forgotten to do so, I will put a link to it in the show notes, and so that you can get there. Take a look afterwards. Otherwise, very quickly do a screen grab on that QR code, and that should get you into my team on AliExpress. The other couple of questions I had canned already was I did a few things with Mongoose a while ago, and one of the things I perhaps just floated over a little too quickly was just how to serve things like static web pages out on the world of Mongoose. And so I'm going to revisit that, and I'm going to do yeah, I understand the question, yes, I do need to do that, so I'm going to revisit that. So there's going to be a video in a few weeks' time where I'll look again at the Mongoose compressed file system, how you put static files out there and share them. So that will be there for you guys to look at, and hopefully that explains it a bit more, and I'll take a little bit more time rather than dropping over it very quickly. It's actually very easy. There's a pack utility that they ship with Mongoose that you just need to run. But yeah, that video will talk through that. So sorry for jumping over small points quickly. The other question that came out recently from someone on the channel, which I thought was kind of interesting, especially when I thought about it, was can you store Wi-Fi credentials securely on the Pico W? So that's the RP2040 chips. And my initial reaction to that was, no, you can't. It's just, you can't do that. But I don't think that's fair, because I don't think security is actually a binary thing. You know, certainly the locks on my door aren't binary. I think people can pick locks. You know, people can just find other ways around. So there are certainly things we can do. And so one of the other videos I'm going to come up with is actually exploring how we might be able to do some things to make holding those credentials more secure. Now, I suspect I'll get a few flames for that, because a few people will probably take my initial reaction of, no, you can't, it's just impossible. But yeah, watch the video and let me know what you think. I'd be interested to say, you know, am I actually making things more secure, or I'm just making things more difficult for myself? And that's, I guess, part of the question. So an interesting point. A couple more things coming in on the channel. So yes, I will share that link on AliExpress. Is there an ESP32 now peer-to-peer equivalent on the Pico platform? No, there isn't an equivalent to ESP32 peer-to-peer that I know of for peer-to-peer comms, I'm afraid. So let me show that question as well for the audience. So no, I don't think there is any equivalent to that I've seen any project do. You could build one, but no, most things I see on the Pico W and Pico 2W would be connecting to an access point and using that network, or publishing their own access point and doing it that way, not a true peer-to-peer network setup as you've got in the ESP32's peer-to-peer, ESP32 now capability. So no, that would definitely be, if that's what you're trying to exhibit, then that would definitely be something that will push me towards picking ESP32 for that sort of use case. So cool. Thank you very much for your questions. It's always good to know that there's actually some people watching. Sometimes you feel like you're talking to a wall here, but you know what it's like. So Thank you very much for the questions. So that's it for today. I will do another one session, and it's in the diary now for November the 23rd for my next live stream. There will, of course, be videos out. So Thursday, take a look at the Halloween build. Let me know what you think of my Pepper's Ghost Illusion. I'd be interested to know. And if you've got any questions or any projects you'd like me to share for in November, please do get in touch. I'd love to have that there. Remember to subscribe, and until then, please do keep tinkering. And thank you everyone who watched on the DevEcosystem or DevEco's YouTube channel. Remember to jump over also to the Dr Jon EA page and subscribe to my stuff as well. That would be cool. So goodbye for now. Thank you very much, and I will talk to you live again next month. Bye-bye.